Hey guys, welcome back to Zero's Hobbies and another orc unboxing. This one's pretty cool. I did not think I was going to be able to get this because it's not in print anymore and no one has it in stock. But I found someone on eBay, he had it in stock and he had it for a decent price. A respectable price because a lot of people are charging way too much for this because they know it's no longer in print. But I picked up the Kill Team Battlezone Octarius scenery set. I've been wanting to get this for a while. It's a big box. It's a little different. My box is a little damaged. Came a little messed up, but well, it looks like he had something sitting on top of it. That's okay. Let's get this over to the table and see what comes inside. Sit tight. Here it is, the Warhammer 40k Kill Team Killzone Octarius. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but that's how I'm saying it. I think you could say it as Octarius, but I don't think the Imperials would name it that. They would say Octarius. You know what I mean? But anyway, here you go. This is the orc scenery from that Kill Team box set, which is very cool. I've been kind of wanting to get this for a long time. These pieces, supposedly, this set is out of print. So there's no more out there. The ones you find are the ones you find. And I've been looking for a long time. And honestly, a lot of people, because people know it's out of print, they're raising the prices. And it's gone up. It's gone up a lot. It's almost like $200. I think it was $200 at one point from someone. And I was looking, and you just got to stay vigilant and keep looking if it's something you want. And I finally found a guy who had it for $95. And I was like, that was pretty close. I think that's the original price was $95 plus shipping, free shipping. So I was like, what's the deal? You know what I mean? And then I looked, and you can see here, you can see it here, and the big old one here, and up here there's dents. The box was damaged. It was still in the wrapping, but it was damaged, and he noted that. You know what I mean? And because I messaged him, I'm saying, why is it so cheap? And he's like, it got damaged because he had stuff sitting on top of it for a long time. You can see it's kind of pushed in, but he said that it should be fine. But like I said, I got it home, unwrapped it, checked it, and yeah, it's all the scenery is fine. So I'm like, yo, that's I'm grateful I got a good deal. You know what I mean? Because I was almost afraid I wasn't going to be able to find something like this. And there's only a couple other pieces I'd like to get. I'd really like to get the Mech Boy Workshop. And that's one that's gone up in price ridiculously. And I know I should have got it when it came out, but I just couldn't at the time. But I'd love to have one of those, just especially because I have all the buggies, and I just think it's a cool thing. But let's crack this bad boy open, and let's look at that. You smell that plastic? Woo! All right, let's get this situated here. So I don't know if mice were chewing through it, or no, it's probably just damage from the sitting on stuff. But you've got all these different pieces. Some of these pieces, like these here, these little blocking terrain or whatever, scatter terrain, sorry. This is actually from the Speed Freaks box set that was released about 4 years ago, and they've been reusing it a couple of times in different sets. Like the Mech Boy set has some of these too, which is whatever, you know what I mean? But you get these pieces of wall that can be combined. They're actually designed so that you can just connect them together, and you'll have like a little tiny fort. Then you get a cardboard gaming board. You get two of them, and you put together to make your gaming surface for Kill Team. So it's cool. I like that a lot of the games are putting these in there simply because of the fact, like, yeah, you can make your own table, you can go buy gaming mats, totally true. But it's cool that they offer this so that if I bought Octarius as a Kill Team box, I would need nothing else. Maybe the core rulebook, but I wouldn't need much more else. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a very cool thing. Same thing with most of the other Warhammer games that come out. They give you these little cardboard, and at first I was like, this is so cheap. You know what I mean? It's cheesy. But before that, in 8th edition, like the first 8th edition box set came with paper mats. you know, and I was like, oh, that's so cool, it's a poster, whatever, you know. And as it got better, I was like, you know, I realized that these are actually pretty good, you know what I'm saying? So all right, let's open this up. All right, I just wanted to show you real quick the orc debris, or the scatter terrain. This is, again, this is the same stuff that came with the Speed Free box set, and they're just, you know, reusing it, which, you know, at first I was like, oh my god, I'm tired of seeing the scenery. But, you know, if you didn't catch the Speed Freaks box set, which is gone, here you go. You know what I mean? You got a couple packs that came with this stuff too. And again, it makes good scatter terrain. It makes good stuff. It's pretty tall, right? Like, you know, if you look at it, it's pretty tall, you know, so you could almost make it like blocking terrain, you know, because this guy's like, just his head is barely over the scenery, you know what I mean? So you could do it. So that they're not too bad, you know, but like I said, this is always an orc staple now. All right, here's the next sprue. This actually looks like the oil pump rig, or it looks like an oil pump. I don't know, like, I don't know what it is, but it looks like an oil pump to me. Like, you know, the arm goes back and forth and whatever gets pumped through. I don't know. I'll have to read in the manual and see what it is, but it looks like one. And these huge tanks. That's cool. It's pretty thick too. I don't know if this is regular Games Workshop sprue or like the Chinese scenery sprues, but it's thick, so it should be nice and sturdy once it's built. And these sprues were manufactured in 2020, so it's not that bad. They're not too old, you know. All right, here's two sprues, but they're repeat sprues, so I'm just going to show you the one. Here we go. So this is one of the little bunker walls. Look at the detail on this thing, man. Just everywhere there's detail. You know, the orcs they just slap it together. You know what I mean? And it's cool. It just makes sense. You know what I mean? It makes sense for the orcs. And I'm glad they're doing this. I'm glad. I know it sucks that it's limited, right? Like, they're only making so many of them and then they're stopping. But it's very cool that they're making Xenos scenery. I really like, they did the Tau Tide Wall set, and I wish I would have got it, even though I don't play Tau. I just think it's a cool piece of scenery. But it was the Tau. It was a Tau piece of scenery. Sure, it could move and do, you know, stuff like in the game, but, you know, most of the scenery that has been produced has been Imperial scenery, right? Like, it's bunkers, it's ruins, it's walls, it's trenches, you know what I mean? It's manufactorums, it's imperialist terrain with old buildings, you know, Ryza ruins, you know what I mean, with ruined building walls, you know what I'm saying? You know, so here we have the next sprue. Again, this is a double sprue, so we're gonna talk about that. So I think it's kind of weird, you know, that they repeat stuff, but at the same time, it really doesn't matter. And all this stuff connects somehow, you know what I'm saying? So that's really cool. You gotta go walking like a gangplank. That's so cool. Walk across the top stuff. I think that's what that is. Or maybe, might be just the top of the wall. But either way, it's very cool. But like I said, you know, there are tons of Imperial scenery throughout the history of Warhammer 40k. Even Necromunda, that's still Imperial scenery. That's the Necromunda is still a hive city made by the Imperium. You know what I mean? But it's cool. You know, I always liked that stuff. And when they started making heavy plastics terrain, I was like, oh, this is so cool. But why don't they make Xenos? Or why don't they make Chaos? Or why don't they make, you know, in fantasy, the same thing? They made Imperial scenery, like Empire scenery, you know, and it was very cool, but they didn't make anything else. Nothing for orcs, nothing for Skaven. You know, there's like the high elves and stuff. They just finally started making pieces of scenery for the different races, and I think that's very cool. You know what I mean? Like, let those designers do their thing, you know, and give us those really unique. Like, I have the Chaos Hellgate, you know, the Warp Gate, and I think it's just a cool piece. The Death Guard furnaces, just they don't have to make a whole thing, but that's so cool that they just did that. You know what I mean? You know, you can Nurgle-fy any Imperial scenery or Space Marine scenery, and it'll be the same thing, but it's still cool. So here we have the gaming board, and it's just a card stock. And I just noticed there is a little tear right there. Okay. So there was a little damage, but that's, I have so many of these now from so many different, I have so many orc ones too, from Speed Freaks and a couple other ones. It's like, yeah, it's, it is what it is. And it folds out to be a really big Kill Team size gaming board. I don't have the space on the camera to do that, but again, we've got really cool details, painted on details, like some orc debris and stuff like that, stuff from buggies, and it's just cool that they offer that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't have to, but if they don't want you to go buy scenery somewhere else, they gotta provide you with something, right? Like, I mean, again, especially in like games like Kill Team, where that box is isolated. You can add other stuff from other places, but that box pretty much comes with everything you need. Last but certainly not least, the instruction manual. Pretty thin, so it's got oh, it's like a fold-out pamphlet. Okay, so there you go. Same thing. Blue is the piece you're adding. Yellow is the color of where you're putting the glue. So not bad. Oh, no. That's part of the wall there. Okay, that's cool. Then you have the single platform, which is interesting. And then there's those pieces you don't have to really do anything to. You just paint them. There's those tanks. And that thing. Hang on a second. It is. It's an oil pump. Say it right there. A oil pump. Very cool. I love how orky it all is. All right. Let's get this guy going. All right. There you go, man. That is the Warhammer 40K Kill Team Battlezone Octarius set. I can't wait to get this built. I can't wait to show you guys what it looks like. I'm going to do some hobby vlogging and hopefully show you guys like the building process, or how I'm deciding on painting things. I really want to show you guys how I do this, how I personally build scenery and terrain. And I mean, this is just a plastic kit, so it's plug and play, but there's still things in there that I do that I choose to do for myself. And like these things generally tend to come with their gating all on bottom, but there's like 1,000 gates. You know what I mean? It's like not 1,000, but like this piece here has like 10 gates underneath, and they're real thick. So you got to nip through them, and you got to sand them down and all this other stuff to prep it. And I'm not sure, don't quote me on this, but I think this is gonna be based. At least the oil pump. I'm not going to base the scatter terrain because that just doesn't make any sense. But I think the walls might be based. So I'd have to configure it so that I can put it together and make a small fortress, the square fort that it is, and have it individual pieces as well. So stay tuned for any of my vlog videos so you can see what I do and how I decide to go forward with this. But there you go. Let's get it built real quick, and then I'll show you guys what they look like in the end. All right, sit tight. So yeah, just like I said, you get all these spruce clips you got to get out just to get this one piece out. You know what I mean? But you just work through it. Turn something on, turn some music on, or whatever podcast you want to listen to, and just go. All right, here it is, man. The Warhammer 40K Kill Team Octarius, Killzone Octarius. Very cool little design, very cool little nod to the orcs, finally getting some love. Interesting. It's got, you can configure it in multiple ways, obviously, because all these pieces are separate. So these walls separate, And these little planks, like that guy just took a dive. But these little planks come off. It's just a separate little piece. It's very cool, very detailed. And these walls all move. Get my work guy. But yeah, I just I built it like, you know, it said in the book, and then, you know, it went together fairly easy. The only issue I had, and I did this, I'm going to show you guys. I did this with every single piece, pretty much. Or I had to. You can see there, on these little platforms, you can see there. Okay. It's like that on the other two back there. And the oil rig, I had to put one underneath the steps. Okay, because the one on the oil rig was just not reaching the ground. So I just wanted to make sure, you know, it caught the ground. But where they want you to glue these pieces, oh, that one just fell. Where they want you to glue these pieces, you see it's on these little beams, and there's not enough glue surface for these supports. So it was like wobbly. Even when it got the glue started curing, it just got wobbly. You see, even now it's still wobbly because it's just a thin little piece of plastic card. So I had intended to base the whole set. You know, put each piece on a base, but I'm second guessing. I'm thinking about it. I don't know. I'm still on the fence about that because it's just the way it goes together. You know, and I'll try to show you guys that in a second. But the way it goes together, it leaves very little space in the middle and on the inside for big bases. You know what I'm saying? So you would, like this one, I could put a base under this and it'd be fine because it just goes wherever. But these guys I have to be careful with, and especially these guys, because they're so close together when you put them together to make the big bunker. It's hard to probably put a base on here. Probably it wouldn't probably be worth it, just because of the nature of the design. But hang on, I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's put together. All right, so as you can see, that's what it looks like when it's put together. It's like a little bunker. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. So you can see those center pieces go together. Those two little standing platforms go together in the center, and they're so close together. The feet of the stems are so close together because of where they wanted you to glue it that I guess I could make a base for it, but it would be a funky base. It probably wouldn't stand upright anyway. Those things are very wobbly, so putting a miniature on there is kind of sketchy. So I'm gonna have to do something. But if I put more plastic card, then they're gonna raise up and they won't be flush with the rest of the kit. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was tempted to just base the whole thing. But like I said, I gotta worry about, you know, where the bases start and stop. You know what I mean? So there'll be some overhang so that these pieces can connect together. They don't snap together, they just fit together. There's no, like, I could just move them, you see, and they'll come right apart. I have thought about magnetizing, but I don't know. I don't think it's worth magnetizing. This way, plus, like, maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe. I don't even know if there's a place where you could put a magnet. Maybe there is. I guess I could put some tiny ones in there, but it just would be. I think it would be more frustrating work to do that. I can, but it would just be, you know what I mean? It's all gonna go stuffed in a box until it's ready to be used. So it doesn't really make sense to magnetize it. But yeah, there it is, man. That's the set, you know. And I have the barricades. Okay, and these are exactly the same as the ones that come with Speed Freaks. But they're not bad. I mean, you know, it's just more orky terrain for me. I don't mind. You know, try to get to a 4x6 size table. I know this is a kill team size board, but I would like to get to a full 4x6 size table. And then we've got our debris. And it's funny because if you look at these things carefully, you see all the different parts of all the different buggies that has been released. You know what I mean? It's kind of cool. And even on the walls too, there's bits of vehicles, you know. There's a wing from a scrapjet. You've got wheels. I like that the wheel is not sitting in the tire. That's kind of cool. There's some more Megatrack scrapjet. There's a Rucker Truck grill and hood. You know, it's kind of cool. We've got the bigger scatter piece. You know, again, that's a scrapjet. But again, you know, it's a very cool, just a little bit of orky stuff makes it all worth, you know, like I said before, I think I've said it before, like there's not enough Xenos terrain out there. You know what I mean? It's all Imperial, which I get. I get the biggest sellers are the Space Marines, right? So you want to make as much stuff for them as possible, but show the love, man. Show the love to the Xenos. But that's it. That's the set. All the Killzone sets have gone up pretty much like $95 or more. Interesting to see the new Kill Team coming out in 2024 with the Sector Mechanicus style scenery. And it's just platforms, and like I guess the guys jump from platform to platform because they all the guys do jumping. But I would kind of probably get that set too. At least a scenery set, because I have some Sector Mechanicus and I would love to have more platforms. So we'll see. But as far as the Octarius set, I dig it. I would like to expand it, you know, make it more versatile or make it a bigger fort or something, you know. I know that there's a YouTube channel called Eons of Battle. They have a Patreon, and on their Patreon, they made some pieces that will connect these to make it a bigger fort, which I'm really interested in doing. I've never done Patreon before, but I might for that. But like I said, this is a really cool set. I don't agree with what people are charging for them now. I got lucky, and I got it for $95 shipped, which was mind-blowing. I think it was just one night I was trolling, and I found it, and I was like, mine. You know what I mean? Because I was just like, it's a thing, you know what I mean? Like I have Imperial scenery, I have Imperial terrain, stuff I've built, stuff I've bought, and I would really like some Orc stuff. You know what I mean? I never got any Tyranid terrain because it's like almost rare, and the Forge World stuff is ridiculous. So this stuff is really cool. This stuff, and it's solid. You know what I mean? It's durable, so it's gonna last. I mean, I don't recommend throwing your scenery all over the place, but I think it'll work. You know what I mean? But there you go. That's my final thoughts on that. I can't wait to paint it up, and maybe I'll do a showcase when I'm done painting my orcs and the buggies and stuff, and maybe I can do an army showcase with this stuff there. Who knows? I'll let you guys know. All right, as always, like, subscribe, share, and thank you for watching.